Okay, 27 days without a manager, and Rotherham finally have their man, Leam Richardson, on a 3.5 year deal. Reese, let's get a reaction to that. Happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad. Obviously, he's from Leeds, isn't he? So he's a Yorkshire lad. So that's always a good shout. To be fair, yeah. Obviously, he's had some good teams. He's managed some good teams in past. Obviously, he's not been recently managing anybody, has he? So I think it's a decent shout. He's a newer manager, isn't he? So he's only a young manager. I think he's 44. So hopefully, bring something fresh into it. And hopefully we can. They've got someone to go behind. And when I've looked at social media, they all seem quite positive as well. So that's fingers crossed. He'll give us that extra shove that we need and keep
Yeah, he
us
did all right.
head above
Did all
water.
right with Wigan, didn't he? And his football there was something that I know a few Wigan friends were really happy with. Does this mean that you potentially now will survive?
Yeah, less like Warnock, he kept us above water, didn't he, a little bit? So, and as previous one, Matt Taylor. So let's hope with this new fresh air, as it were, we start collecting these points we desperately need. So, fingers crossed.
All right, let's talk about the game this weekend then. The game against Swansea. We're also going to ask you for your player of the month for November. I'm going to ask you who you think the best fans are to come to the New York Stadium so far this year. So lots to get through. Let's start then with the Swansea game. Up to 17 minutes. Was that a winnable game?
100%, yeah, 100%. Like I said, we played really well. In my opinion, yeah, I was. To be fair, I was sat just behind the goal. And we were really better team until we got a sending off, and it was just a struggle from there. So,
I mean, it's a stupid sending off, wasn't it? I mean, you can't blame the referee for that, although didn't have a good game, I don't think, throughout. But any complaints?
oh, 100%. I mean, some of the decisions were absolutely shocking. Like I said, he gave Ayala a yellow card for time wasting. It were a soft. I mean, fair enough. He had all the ball and he chucked it to obviously the opposite team for a throw in. But I mean, when we walked throughout the game, Swansea team were doing it constantly. Not one yellow card was given, apart from the once where one of the players literally booted the ball across to the it more or less went into with other fans. He then get a yellow card. And throughout the game, one of the goals, in my opinion, were an handball. He handballed it in, and he allowed that. I mean, we were literally stood right there. We saw him handball it in, and yet he still allowed that goal. And it was just ridiculous. Some of the decisions, even at half time, all the fans, all the stadium were just booing this referee and the linesman. It was just a joke, and it got to a point where at the end of the game, when a referee asked to have security to come on to walk him off the pitch, it just proves that he made some really bad decisions. And I hope it gets investigated because fair enough, when you're a referee, obviously coming from a fan position, from a fan's point of view, you can sometimes the decisions you think he might have saw it differently. But when it's blatantly obvious for everybody to see where you're pulling, and literally his t-shirt is like a mile long, and to the point where he's more or less pulling him backwards, I think you're not getting any, he's not giving anything to anybody.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
in my opinion, it was a joke.
I'd imagine, as much as disappointment about the results, you must have come out of the stadium feeling proud of the performance they put in. Because even though, you did lose, with 10 men against a very vulnerable Swansea side, you didn't look too
Yeah.
bad, did you?
No, I mean, like I said, once he got the sending off, fair enough. I didn't see the replay of the foul where he did get that yellow card. I think he tackled him from behind. Obviously, we couldn't really see whether it were a soft tackle or were it enough to send him off. I don't know. But after that point, they kind of got a little bit disorganised. It was a little bit hectic. And then after half time, they come out and they ended up like repositioning themselves. They got themselves back in it, and they just come out really strong. And like you said, you to say we had 10 men, you couldn't even tell. To be fair,
Yeah. It must be sickening then to get back in the car and listen to the results coming through from the Bet365 with Wednesday scoring last minute
yeah.
and QPR winning again, because you are now getting cut adrift. So does that sort of frustration and ire turn towards Tony Stewart? What's the talk on the terraces now about this limbo you seem to be in?
Yeah, obviously, no one wants to be below an hour, though, do we? Really, let's be honest. So, from a Rotherham fan point of view, but yeah, we're devastating because at least you had that little glimmer up where, I mean, to be fair, we're not far off on goal difference anyway with the points. It's just like I said, to be at the bottom, it's just looking more. We just need these wins now. It's desperate where we need to get these points. Otherwise, it's going to end up a point where we're going to be mathematically impossible. We're going to be relegated. So it's like I said, we're just hoping and praying that they go on the pitch now and they start playing how they need to play. Again, like I said, they have been playing these games though previously. Like the last 2 or 3 games, they've played really well. It's just it's either been bad luck or the ball's not been, or really bad, referees on our side. So it's just one of them. We just need a bit of luck, I think.
All right, a couple of quick ones for you then, and hopefully by the time we speak next week, we won't be talking about managers anymore because it seems to be it seems to be something we talk about every week. Your goalkeeper has probably added a few million onto his transfer fee for January, hasn't he, with that performance on Saturday?
Yeah, he's a top-notch goalkeeper at the day, though, isn't he? I mean, he's playing internationally, and it's I'd say for me, it's not a surprise. You know what I mean? He's for me, I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in that league. You can argue from my point of view, if he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the one goal, it could have saved. I mean, he did save it against Swansea, and it was just cat-like reflexes. He was unbelievable. He was just off. I mean, he's just that quick, and he's really good. And he knows how to play the game really well. He knows when to slow the game down a bit more, and he's just got that really quality about him, I'd say.
Well, I'm sorry, mate. I predict he'll probably be a Premier League player by the end of January.
Probably, yeah. What's surprising? Yeah.
There's a few teams that will need a good goalkeeper. All right, let's quickly get into your November Player of the Month for us.
I'm actually going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to Victor Johansson. I think because in fact we did have a few conversations with some of the lads at the game where we've said it's funny how he can have a really good game and he doesn't get the player of the man of the match as a goalkeeper. He don't really tend to get it, and he actually got it that game. So fair play to him. So I'm going to give it to Victor.
All right. And it's a season of giving, so we're giving out some love to other fans then this month as well on this channel. Who's been the best set of away fans to visit the New York Stadium so far this season, and why?
Oh, bloody hell! That's a good one. I'd say. See, Wednesdays were really good. Leeds, sorry, were a good one. Oh, it's Birmingham. They come out. Bloody hell, that's a difficult one actually. To be fair, I'd say give it to. Well, I can't think.
You're not going to give it to Leeds on Wednesday, are you? Surely,
no. Put me on the spot. I'm trying to think of any others that they listed out that were loads of them came. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it if I'm honest.
Right. Okay. Plymouth then this weekend. Let's bring in our Plymouth fan and get our predictions. Thanks, Reese, for a second. Yeah. Okay, Reese. Then you've got a big trip then this weekend down to the south coast. Are you confident?
I'd say yes.
Sorry,
I'd
Craig,
say so.
Sorry, hold on. Craig, you've gone off camera again.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to get Jaden in as well. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I will do in a second. Yeah. Sorry, we should do it again.
No, you're all right,
mate. Well, welcome, Reese. You've got a big trip then down to the south coast this weekend. Are you confident?
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, will be our last game. I feel like we played a lot better than we have done. It was a bit unfortunate for the result, but like I said, we'll play quite confident. So obviously we don't do really well against us away games. So fingers crossed. We pull his fingers out basically and try and get a turnaround with the results of the away games. But Plymouth is a difficult team to beat, I'd say. So fingers crossed we have a good game.
Yeah, I mean, how do you rate Plymouth then this season?
Yeah, they're doing all right. I mean, again, the mid-table, but like again, we've played against, it's one of them where Rotherham always tend to do really well against, further up the table teams than the ones that we're scrapping against. So I'm hoping that we turn around and try and get these points, because I think Plymouth might be a little bit more comfortable more than Rotherham. So Rotherham need them points. So it's one of them where who wants them points more, and I think Rotherham do, in my opinion. So
Right, let's get some predictions then. Craig, you're very confident of a home win, so you can have the scoreline first. What are you going with?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2-1, and I'm gonna go Ryan Hardy to win it in front of Devonport End.
Great. Okay, Reese, you're seeing an improving Rotherham side, but are they going to improve enough to go to Home Park and snatch a win?
I think so. Hopefully, I'm with for a 1-0 win for Rotherham.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right, we will catch up with you then, both of you in a week's time, and see how you're doing, and see if you can drag Plymouth a little bit closer into this mire.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, right. Cheers, folks. See you next week.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Thank you, Mark.